Hello, it's Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. So nice you drop in. I love it. Thanks a lot. I'm standing here in front of my sticker board, but don't have any stickers put up today. Too busy because I'm going to start building my bench. I have a plan to put a metal top on the workbench. We'll see how that works out. I spent a lot of time the last 3 days trying to lay out the shop. I made all these little cutouts of all the different pieces I had, you know, like, and then I had a floor plan here, and I was trying to lay them out on the floor plan, see what would be best, and if this would work any better than that. And, well, you know, after spending about a day and a half on it, I figured, you know, the layout I had wasn't all that bad. So I'm going to put my bench here, center it between these outlets. So I put a mark here. This is the center line, and that's the height of the top of the bench. That's 40 inches from the floor. So then I cut my 2x4 and I marked a center line on it. And I also, if you notice this, I recessed this a little bit at the back, and that's because of the top that I have to put on there. That'll come clear later on. Not bad right there. All right. So I've got a couple more screws to just put in the end here. And it's level. So we got to start on rebuilding the shop. Okay, so I cut a couple of pieces here for the end. You can see I'm just using scraps, of course. What else, eh? So this is going to go on the end here. I want to make sure the top is flush. And now I got one put on the other end, and then we'll be able to put the front piece on. What I did was I cut my legs here for the main reason, get that guy kind of straight, is it's going to help support this front piece when I put it on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's even level that way. How about that? All right, I'm set up here with my pocket joiner from Craig. Now, a lot of people are not pocket hole screw fans, but sometimes pocket holes work out good. I'm going to clamp it, and I'm going to drill through the center hole here. Okay, so the idea is that this leg is going to go right under the corner of the bench here. Like so. So that's flush there and flush on the front almost. So we'll just tap this in place here. There you go. So here's that one. And that one. Now that's only toenailed in there, so the leg wobbles around a lot. But my plan eventually is to put shelf in here, so I'll be able to secure that leg a little better. And at that time, I'll make sure it's square and plumb. So we're going to do the same on the other side now. So just out of curiosity, you can see how square this is. That's 65 1/4 that way. Oh my God, it's dead on. Okay, I have my pieces cut out, and I put some more pocket hole screws at the back in order to connect them at the back. Oh yeah. Make sure that's as square as I can get it. And good there. All right, there's one. Now I'll do the same for the other. I should try to see if I get a top put on that now. What do you think? All right, we're trying to put a top on the bench. Now I have a metal top that's going to go on this at some point, but right now I'd like to put just a sub deck on it. And I don't have any material. I've got pieces and parts and bits and bobbles and whatnot, right? So this is one piece that I have, and I've got some other pieces here that I'm sure there's enough, if I put this all together, that I can fill in the top of the bench. So you see there's pretty big gaps here, eh? But like I was saying, I'm going to have a steel top on the top of the bench, so it's not going to matter much. So that's the top, as rugged as it is, and you see it's the joints are not real tight, but with the steel top on it, I think it'll be fine. So in order to put the metal top on my workbench, the metal top is the first thing I put on the bench over on the other side of the shop, and I've got everything piled on top of it, so it's like a day's work just to get to it. A lot of what I have piled on top of the metal top for here belongs in this cubby that I used to have on the wall here. So what I thought I would do is I would go ahead and mount this cubby up on the wall, and then I can unload some of the material off the bench into the cubby and get access to my metal top to put on the workbench. It's a complicated game, eh? So that cubby is 19¼ inches tall, so I'm going to put it right tight against this 2x4 at the bottom of the shelf, and it tight against this backer plate for my pneumatic tableau. I'm going to mount this ledger right here. So then what I did was come plumb from the edge of this backer, put a little mark there. So that's where that's going to start, right about there, something like that. Level this. See how it fits. So far so good. Oh yeah. What do you think of that then? My shelves put back up, so I can put my little containers in with my nuts and bolts. And I've got my welder and my grinder set over there, so I think that's going to be a good spot for them. When I used to have the wood stove here, I had this metal behind the wood stove to protect the wall, and I put a Massey Ferguson emblem on it. So I like that. Anyway, we're going to try and set that on the workbench. So both sides of this metal are turned down with a lip on them, and I hope that I got everything measured. I left a gap at the back. I hope that's going to fit in there, and I hope it fits over the front. Oh yeah, heavy, heavy, heavy. You know what? It doesn't fit too bad. Surprise, surprise. So this top has got a lot of screw holes in it. What this was, one time its life was a backer plate for a relay panel. So that's what all these holes are for in it. I think I'm going to have to put some countersink screws in, maybe here and there and everywhere, just to hold it down, because that top has got a bow in it, right? It's high in the ends and sits down tight in the middle, but I think that's going to work good. I'm liking it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it outside, put it on some sawhorses, and just grind these screw holes down flat. So we're going to take this outside, like the buddy said at the tavern that night. You want to take this outside? All right, nice little breeze here. Got a mask on, so let's get at her. So I'm going to be a while, so I'll come back. Wow, that was a big job. Bigger than I thought, but I'm done. I've decided that what I'd like to do is try to fill up these little screw holes that are all over this panel. I found the hole anyway. Well, I moved this operation outside because it was just making too much mess in the shop. We're going to try and weld up some more holes, and then out here I'll just grind them all off flat. Alright, I'm going to continue and weld up a bunch of these holes, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, I got most of the holes, I hope, welded up. Now we're going to grind them off. So I got my glasses, my earmuffs, and a face shield and safety gloves here. So we're going to start to grind this off. So this is going to take a while. I'll be back. Well, it's not the smoothest and nicest looking piece of steel I ever saw, but I think it's going to be alright for my workbench. We're going to put this on now. See how it looks. But what I'd like to do now is I'd like to put some screws in here to hold the metal top down so I don't have to leave the clamps on it. Okay, so I put all my marks on my bench and I put X's where I wanted screws, and then I went with my center punch and center punched the holes. So we'll just try to countersink this. Now see, that's still quite proud of that, so I'm going to have to go deeper with the countersink. Alright, so I'm still messing with trying to find a proper countersink. So what I did was I found a router bit that I had that's a V bit, but it's got carbide edges on it, so I'm thinking I might be able to cut through this metal. So we're going to try that. Definitely cuts. So let's try the screw in here now. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's nicer. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think this bit's going to work for the countersink. So I'm just finishing up here putting the screws in. Getting these countersinks put in. So I think that's all of them. Now we'll just check all these screws. That one's touching a little, so we'll redo him. I got them enough anyways. Alright. So I got the basic of a bench built over there now, and that's going to be the center of the shop, so it's going to work out all right. It was quite a little job getting the metal top done to put on there, but I'm glad I made the top out of metal like that. I was going to paint it too, but I figured the paint would just get scratched off and look like heck. And right now it's kind of rough and scuffed up, and it looks like a workbench, so that's good. One step closer to it being a workbench. There's lots more to do over there. For one thing, I want to add the vise to it, but I've got some ideas for shelves and some storage cubbies and stuff, but that'll be in a later video. So thanks for watching. I sure hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave me some comments. Thumbs up me. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you.